John Stossel, who I guess now is with Fox, had a conversation with Fox's Megyn Kelly and has always belittled stuff by drawing a comparison, not understanding that in 1964, black people were getting beaten up and intimidated by public officials, by the way, by the police, who were enforcing the law because the law allowed private business owners to keep blacks out. And the police enforced that law. The government enforced the rights of private owners of hotels and restaurants and every other private business you can imagine to keep people out based on their skin color or their religion or sexual orientation. But in the South in the 1960s, all we're talking about is skin color. But John Stossel and clowns like John Stossel, and he is a total clown. It's a wonder they let him on TV with that giant red bulbous nose positioned directly over his 1971 porn star mustache. But John Stossel continues to minimize it by saying, no, it's just like them saying, oh yeah, it's totally fine if they say you can't come in here with a mustache or you can't let a blonde anchor in. No. John, it's black people. It's not people with mustaches and it's not blonde anchors. It's black people, you circus clown. It's John Stossel talking to Megyn Kelly.
Rand Paul is a libertarian. You are a libertarian. He is getting excoriated. Do you agree with that?
Totally. I'm in total agreement with Rand Paul. You can call it public accommodation, and it is, but it's a private business. And if a private business wants to say, we don't want any blonde anchor women or mustached guys, it ought to be their right. Are we going to say to the Black Students Association they have to take white people, or the Gay Softball Association they have to take straight people? We should have freedom of association in America. But those, Jim Crow, those were government rules. Government was saying we have white and black drinking fountains. That's very different from saying private people can't discriminate.
How do you know that these private business owners who own restaurants and so on would have said, you know what, yes, we will take blacks, we'll take gays, we'll take lesbians, if they hadn't been forced to do it?
Because eventually they would have lost business. The free market competition would have cleaned the clocks of the people who didn't serve most customers. And I would go further than he was willing to go, as he just issued the statement, and say it's time now to repeal that part of the law, because private businesses ought to get to discriminate. And I won't ever go to a place that's racist, and I will tell everybody else not to, and I'll speak against them. But it should be their right to be racist. Discrimination is everywhere. You discriminate when you pick your friends, when you pick your husband, when you pick what you want to eat. We make choices all the time. Private businesses ought to get to make those choices freely.
It's not the same as picking whether you want to have a hot dog or zucchini for lunch as to whether a place where you eat, and by the way, it was every place where you ate, so you couldn't eat anywhere except on your side of the town. It's their right to be racist. Yeah, we have some rights. You have a right to be racist. And you have a right to be racist and own a restaurant or own a hotel. You just don't have the right to keep gay people, black people, and Jewish people, as the examples I'm going to keep using, out of that place. That's all. You can be as racist as you want to be. You can have a giant Confederate flag on the outside your hotel. You can put up, I hate black people. You just have to take their money. It's not that big a deal. You can be as racist as you want to be. Hey, you want us to repeal that law, John Stossel? You are out of your frickin' mind, and you minimize it. And by the way, at every public college, at least, and I think every private college that gets public tax breaks, or at least that's how it should be, if there's a black student association, yeah, there gets to be a black student association. And by the way, at least as far as I'm concerned, if a white person wants to join the black student association, they have to be able to. That's all there is to it. I mean, I don't think that's going to happen a lot. And then the Black Student Association can form another Black Student Association. But if that white person wants to keep irritating that process and continually joining every Black Student Association, okay, fine. Good for you. Way to go. By the way, there also gets to be a Christian Student Association. And they don't have to let anybody in. But if a Jew wants to join that Christian association, go ahead. But it's going to suck. But feel free. All right, so this is Neanderthalistic prehistoric thinking. Nobody should have paid attention to John Stossel when he was a clown at ABC, and now the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus has let his contract expire, and he has taken his clown act to another circus, but I don't know any other circuses, thus killing this metaphor.